Hello everyone and welcome to another live protocol video. So this video is going to be focused on introverted feeling, and it's video number 9 in the series and the final video in the series about the origin of all cognitive functions. It's going to be focused on introverted feeling and more specifically on the ISFPs and the INFPs. To be honest, introverted feeling kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap, but I love introverted feeling dominant types because they can be the best partners that you can ever hope to get, because they can be so loyal, so dedicated. You have to understand that introverted feeling dominant types, they feel emotions way deeper than any other type. So that means if they like you, they really like you. Another reason why I love introverted feeling dominant types is due to their creativity and originality. ISFPs are so in tune with the senses, with the world around them, that they can assimilate those experiences and then mutate them around inside within them and create masterpieces. And INFPs are one of the most imaginative, with the extroverted intuition on the second slot. They assimilate their own experiences, their own emotions into their out-of-the-box ideas, and they can create masterpieces in terms of abstract ideas, in terms of literature. Anyway, I do love these two types. Anyway, I want to say that this is just a theory. I don't mean any of this information to be taken as factual, because I cannot prove it. It's just something that I've been noticing throughout the time that I've been studying MBTI. And yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you love the show.
What is introverted feeling, and where did it come from? Introverted feeling is a cognitive process that helps us understand and evaluate our own emotions, and the emotions of others. It is one of the 8 functions that make up the Myers-Briggs personality type system, and it is used in the dominant slot by INFPs and ISFPs. This function helps us to stay in touch with our inner feelings and values, and more importantly, to act in accordance with them. Introverted feeling, or FI, has a huge impact on how its users shape out to be. Of all 8 functions, FI is the most personalized to the individual. 2 FI-DOM users from the same type may feel very strongly about opposing beliefs. This makes introverted feeling a very difficult function to understand. In this video we will explore what introverted feeling is, its possible origins, and how it affects its users, namely ISFPs and INFPs. These types are characterized by a strong focus on their inner feelings and values. They have a deep understanding of people's emotions, and have a great capacity for compassion. How do introverted feeling dominant types behave? FI dominant types are often some of the most creative types. Take ISFPs for example. They are famously known for being great artists. They gather sensory experiences, individualize them, fill them with their own emotional flavor, and then create beautiful pieces of art that speak to our more profound emotions. INFPs possess great imaginative powers and rich and inventive inner worlds that are created in accordance with their inner values and emotions. Reality pales in comparison to their idealistic mind. The problem with INFPs lies in mustering the courage to bring forth the magic that exists within them into the external world. Both types share the process of assimilating their individual emotions and feelings into their craft. ISFPs are more grounded and connected to the world. INFPs are more inventive and imaginative. It's not by accident that both FI dominant types are this creative. The reason behind it is that they are finely tuned to their emotions and feelings. And that is exactly what separates them from all other types: the intensity with which they experience their own feelings. Dominant FI users are very well versed in what it feels like to be human. They have a genuine understanding of human emotions, and feel everything before they even think about it, and that is why they can at times pass judgment very quickly, without pondering future consequences. In a way, they feel the emotion before they are able to think or rationalize it. Remember that every cognitive function in its dominant slot becomes obsessive, and introverted feeling is no exception. FI-DOMs possess deep knowledge of how strongly emotions can feel, not only for themselves but also in other people. They can be the most sympathetic and empathetic types of all. If someone is feeling down or depressed, FI-DOMs don't think how it must feel for that person. They understand how the other person is being affected by it, because they are so in tune with human emotions. But this can also make them very sensitive to criticism. Emotions will always take front stage. It's very easy to feel like everything is personal, and that includes positive feedback or negative criticism. But why are FI DOMs governed by their own emotions? Why do they prioritize identity and the human experience? Where does introverted feeling come from? It is my belief that introverted feeling is a product of emotional neglect and rejection, the feeling of being cast aside in favor of another. Like a child who is neglected and rejected, while the siblings are given preferential treatment, nothing will upset a dominant FI user more than not to be taken into consideration. People who experience emotional neglect are afraid to rely on others and have a hard time identifying their strengths and weaknesses. They are also harder on themselves than on anyone else, blame themselves almost exclusively, and are extra sensitive to rejection. Notice that all traits are directed inwards, to the self. FI dominant users are mainly focused on themselves and their identity, because they feel like they were never taken seriously. They want to live in a world where human emotions are always taken into account, because they feel like their own emotions were never validated, or important enough. The worst thing that can happen to an FI DOM is to feel rejected in favor of another. The feeling of not being good enough is omnipresent, even if they were never neglected or rejected. And by this I mean that we inherit our cognitive functions from the collective unconscious. In other words, our nature or original programming is born with us, and anyone can be attributed any of the 8 cognitive functions at birth. Introverted feeling dominant users don't know why they feel like their emotions are not being validated. They don't know why being rejected in favor of another shakes them to their core. Of course, introverted feeling is much more than just the feeling of emotional neglect and rejection. I believe functions refine themselves and evolve with time. Nowadays, FI is an idealistic function, a function that is empathetic of other people's emotions, and pushes for a world that understands the emotional intricacies of being a human being, although the stigma of its origins still remains. If you have an ISFP or an INFP in your life, as a friend or romantic partner, make sure to always make them feel like their feelings are validated. It's always about the feelings, and never about the rationale. Logic means little to them. Emotions are illogical and irrational, so don't try to illustrate what is true or false. Even if something is true but feels wrong to them, they will meet you with defiance. The best way to have a good relationship with FI DOMs is to meet their emotional needs. They can be the most dedicated, loving, and most loyal partners in the world. They crave being the center of someone's world. They want to be the preferred one this time, and if you are able to give them that, they will love you more intensely than any other type ever could. Because remember, no one feels emotions as deeply or completely as introverted feeling dominant types.
If you liked the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. That will allow us to keep making more videos like this. For more related content, please click on one of the suggested videos. Thank you for watching.